Hello. Hello. Happy Self-Care Saturday. Listen, y'all see me yarning and stuff. I wasn't even planning on coming on here. I wasn't coming on today. Baby, it was like, do I want a bowl of ice cream? Or do I need to go live? Which one? Which one is going to be? And so I'm like, let me just go ahead and just go live real quick and I get my bowl of ice cream afterwards because, baby, Coach T have been in such a relaxed place that I wasn't even planning on coming on today. Happy Self-Care Saturday. What y'all got going on this Thanksgiving weekend? Y'all out in the streets shopping, moving around, doing some things? Not me. I've been in the bed. Y'all see how I'm very relaxed. I ain't even put no filter on because I want y'all to see the relaxation in my face and in my eyes. It's been so good. Did y'all enjoy Turkey Day? Y'all had time with the friends and family? I always try to do a video before the holidays, and then I try to do a video afterwards, because sometimes after, it's, we have a reaction to, what the holiday, had brought on. And so I try to just come on and just send some encouraging words before, and then try to see, how y'all did to kind of encourage you after. Because listen, holiday time can be very, very challenging. It can be very, very tricky when you are going through a marital hardship. It's just very, very hard dealing with, family, friends, relatives, and you got a butthead for a husband because he's either not in the home and living a whole separate life from you, or he's in the home and he's still living a separate life from you, and you're trying to balance, being sane, being normal, being okay in the midst of his, foolery. Sometimes that can be challenging. But I am that coach. I am that coach who, just like to come on and just encourage wise. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. You're going to get through it. Sometimes the holiday, facing that day may be the hardest, but it will pass. It don't last always. It does not last all day. And you will get through it. You will get through it. So I want to just come on. Y'all see my title on here. Just want to talk about some setbacks. So sometimes the holiday seasons can set you back. Whether it is, you can have a depression spell, you can have an anxiety, situation come on, emotionally, you can start to feel some type of way. Or, just dealing with people. Okay. Just dealing with people sometimes can set you back, where you may have anticipated things going one way and they end up going a whole totally different way. So I wanted to just come on today and just encourage you and give you some motivational words and just kind of help you in that area. So Jesus be offense. Welcome. For some of you who may not know me, my name is Coach T. And I am a mental health wife coach and marriage consultant. I coach wives who are going through a marital hardship, whether they're going through a separation or whether they're just dealing with a challenging season in their marriage. And a lot of times these wives have biblical reasons to walk away from their marriage. They have biblical reasons to, exit left. But because of their obedience to God, God has told them, hey, tarry alone with this young man a little bit longer. Tarry alone in this marriage a little bit longer. I don't want you to divorce him. I don't want you to leave him. I want you to stay in this marriage. And out of obedience, these wives have made a decision to stay in these broken marriages that does not benefit them. And they're trying to maintain their mental and emotional sanity, right? They're trying to maintain that. And so I help wives to journey through that in the most healthiest way while they're prioritizing their mental health, their emotional health, spiritual health, and physical health. Because I tell you the truth, you will not be able to do this without prioritizing those things. And so welcome. Listen, not gonna hold you long because like I said, I got a bowl of ice cream that's waiting for me. I had to pull up some old Christmas movies. I had took the wreath off my door, the Valentine's, the Thanksgiving wreath off my door, because I had planned for my son before he went to work. I was going to have him to help me put the Christmas tree up, because this is usually when I put my Christmas decor up. I know a lot of other people already put their Christmas decor up. Coach, she don't do that. All right. I am a believer in giving each holiday its time. And for November, I dress out and dress down for Thanksgiving. And so I took the wreath off. It's on a chair. We put the box out for the Christmas tree. It didn't make it in the house yet. Like I said, we being real relaxed, real chilled. I didn't get into none of those streets. Black Friday shopping. The only reason I left my house yesterday, the only reason, is because we ran out of milk. That was it. And I left about 4 in the afternoon to go get that. Baby, me and my son, because he didn't have to work yesterday. My husband had to work. But me and my son, we slept, okay, from that whole entire time. I mean, it's been real sweet. The only reason I decided to make a video today, like I said, is it was the ice cream. I just dropped my son off, so I had to get up and move anyway. So I'm like, well, let me just come over here and share a few words. So I want to talk to you about anticipated setbacks. And like I said, sometimes during the holiday seasons, you're going to have that. One of the things that I have learned, and I think I shared with y'all on a video ago, that I made a decision during my time of my marital hardship where I was not going to allow family rituals, family traditions, family, norms. I was not going to let that dictate how I was going to enjoy my holiday, right? Reason being is because when you are in a marital hardship, you are dealing with a lot of grief. You are dealing with a lot of mixed emotions. For many, you have been used to doing family life with your spouse. Thanksgiving one being in particular was one that I know I did with my husband, and that was one that we really did well together. And so I learned I wasn't going to travel all across the world because my family is way across, 6 hours away from me. I wasn't going to try to, make myself available. I wasn't going to try to pretend. I wasn't going to try to ignore how I was feeling or ignore, what I was dealing with. And so I'm like, I'm bailing out. If I don't want to participate, then I'm not going to participate. If I don't want to do this, then I'm not going to do this. And so a lot of times when the holiday season came, me and my kids did our thing. And we would FaceTime and talk to family and wish everybody well or whatever, and happy Thanksgiving, that type of thing. But we kind of like did our own thing. And even to this day, when my kids, they was trying to figure out this year, like, Mama, why you make no yams? Because every year we would have our normal retro food or whatever. And I was like, I ain't making no yams this year. And they were trying to figure out what had happened, what's wrong with you. Because we had been so used to just doing our own thing. Like, that was just something that I was not going to allow myself to, get myself worked up and trying to fit into this box of doing family retros and family stuff when I knew I was dealing with some stuff hard on the other side. Now, there were times, I think during the Christmas holiday season, where we would go and visit, family. Because during the Christmas time, my husband would come down with me and my family to Florida, and then he would fly back and we would still be down there. So Christmas is a little bit different, but I know for Thanksgiving, we were there together. Thanksgiving was like that family time that we spent together. And so, I don't know how your holiday season went. I hope it went well. But just in case it didn't and you had some setbacks, let's talk about it. All right. Let's talk about it a little bit. One of the Bible verses that came in my spirit this morning, when I was doing some reading, was Second Corinthians chapter 4, verses 8 to 10. And it reads, "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Jesus, that the life also of Jesus might be made manifest in our bodies." Listen, one of the things that I have concluded during this season, not just a holiday, but during this season, is the enemy has turned us every which way but loose. He has turned us every which way of loose. I think I've shared with y'all that we just in a very, very weird season. Like, we are just really, really in a very, very weird season. And some of what's taking place, like, people just don't have answers for. People just don't have answers for. They don't know really how to respond. This is new. This seems very new for a lot of people, where they're just trying to figure out, like, how do you navigate through this and how are we going to get through this? People are dealing with financial situations. People are dealing with health issues. People are dealing with, their jobs, maintaining their businesses. It's just a lot of stuff that different ones are dealing with. And it's like they don't have answers. Like they don't have answers. And God forbid the ones who are not going to, a regular service or part of a community or congregation where they can go and sit in a service and be encouraged that way. So they are really, really looking. They are really, really looking for someone to come and say, look, help me. Tell me something. Just tell me it's going to be okay. I just need to know that it's going to be okay. And I want to let you know today, it's going to be okay. All right. It's going to be okay. Regardless of what you're going through, regardless of, how it may feel, what it may look like, what it may seem like, it's going to be okay. And that's what I concluded out of this, that people just need to know that we're going to be okay. I don't really know the outcome. I don't really know, what's going to happen from, day to day, from next to next. But I need to know that we're going to be okay. The enemy is holding on so tightly in this season because he knows we are literally 30 days away from our new beginning. We are literally 30 days from our breakthroughs for some of us. We are literally 30 days away from what God is getting ready to do next, right? And because of that, setbacks are on a rise. Setbacks are on a rise. And it's like, why are we having so many though? Like, why it's like I keep on going 2 steps forward and get knocked back 10 steps back? Why it's like I'm up today and then I'm down tomorrow? Why it's like I'm going, over and over again? And I have concluded that God has already made provision for our setbacks and shortcomings. He has already made provision for that. So it doesn't matter that you are going through a challenging season of setbacks, or you may be having some setbacks that have come up. God has already made provision for that, right? God has already made provision for that. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean that he's made provision in that? What that means is when we see that the enemy is, who is all these people, boy, passing by? When we see that the enemy is trying to throw a monkey wrench on our journeys, and when he is trying to, start some kind of confusion or, trying to set us back, one of the things that or a few things that you have to be, very, very mindful of, and that you need to do quickly. Okay. Number 1, you need to repent. You need to repent quickly, right? Number 2, you need to pay attention and open your ears to what God is saying quickly, right? And whatever he is saying and whatever instruction he is giving, you need to jump on it and do it quickly, right? And then number three, you need to turn things back over to God. Turn things back over to God quickly. So when we notice that a setback is coming our way, or a setback is, in the making, we need to be quick. We need to be quick to repent, quick to listen, and quick to turn things back over to God, right? The reason why is because the enemy wants your setbacks to keep you at a standstill. The enemy wants your setbacks to keep you at a standstill, and you have to be smarter than that, wife. Okay, you have to be smarter than that. This year have been, like I said, a year of just weirdness. People not really understanding, people not really knowing what's happening next, what's going on. And one of the things I always encourage my wife clients is when you are in a place like that, because you have times when you are in, different seasons like that. But when you have been walking in a place like this for a long period of time, you have to know that you have to stay close. You have to stay close to the cross. You have to stay close to what God is telling you next. God is always prepping and preparing his people. And one of the things I always share with wives is he would not keep you in the dark, right? But Him not keeping you in the dark means you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional by staying close to him. Him not keeping you in the dark meaning that you have to be intentional about meeting with him. Him not keeping you in the dark means you have to be intentional about speaking to him and communicating with him. Him not keeping you in the dark means that you have to make sure that you are keeping your eyes stayed on him, that you are in a steadfast place with him, that you are continuing to allow him to be your shepherd. All right. Psalm 23 reminds us of that. The Lord is my shepherd. You have to allow God to guide you when you are in a season of weirdness and you don't really know what's going to happen from day to day or what's going to happen from place to place. You have to be in a place where you are saying, Lord, I need you to order my steps. I need you to be my shepherd. I need you to show me what it is that I need to be doing next. I need you to allow me to see and know what it is that you're trying to show me in this time, in this season. And when you are in a season of setbacks, these are the kind of conversations you have to be having with God on a regular basis. All right. Your setbacks do not have to end your journey. Your setbacks do not have to end your journey. Did she just say? Okay. Your setbacks do not have to end your journey. All right. It does not have to end your journey. Allow your setbacks to be a reason not to give up, but to keep going. Allow your setbacks to not be a reason to stand still, but allow them to push you to keep showing up. All right. To keep showing up. Now, I want to come in and just give I want to just add a little piece right here. Your setbacks, God has already made provision for, right? He already included that in the plan. He already knew that you were going to have some rough days. You were going to have some rough seasons. You were going to have some seasons and some things that were going to come up that was going to set you off, that's going to set you back. However, like I said, those three things that you do quickly, you have to do those three things, right? You have to do those three things, because if you do not repent quickly, listen quickly, and give things back over to God quickly, what can happen is your season can be altered. God has made provision. He has made provision for your setbacks. He has already made provision for that. But if you don't catch those three things and you don't do those three things quickly, you can alter your season. And this is what the enemy is banking off of, right? The enemy is banking off of you missing your appointed time, and that time has now been altered. It does not mean that it won't happen. Does that mean that, it's canceled? It does not mean that, you won't see it. It just means that it has been altered. And when God had wanted you to do something in this season, in this place, now because you were not in a place to catch on to, what it is that the enemy was doing, now your season has been altered. It has been altered. So 3 things a setback can do. I want to just share these with you. Number 1, a setback can put your journey on halt. Basically, it can stop you from moving forward. A setback can put your journey on halt. It can stop you from moving forward. Number 2, a setback can put you in a bad place mentally and emotionally. For my wives who are going through hardship, who are going through marital challenges, who are going through difficulties, the enemy is banking off of this. He is banking off of this. He wants you to get into your feelings. He wants you to get all emotionally, drained. He wants you to start thinking about reminiscing. What about? I remember when? What if? He wants you to get into that place and go down that hole and get you in a stuck place so that you can get all discombobulated mentally and emotionally. All right. And then number three, a setback can alter your season. Like I said, meaning instead of you going at an appointed time that God may have already had arranged for you, that season has now been altered. It has now been altered. Because she is listen, y'all know I share my story with y'all all the time. I've had some altered seasons on my journey. Things that I knew, and I heard God very clearly tell me. I remember one time when me and my husband, we were separated, and he and I had started talking again. We had started speaking again. I should have learned this lesson a long time ago. But me and him had started talking again. We had started speaking again. And we had started getting really, really comfortable with each other. And then all of a sudden, he had asked me a strange question about money or something like that. And that was just very, very not a good topic for me and him to have. And so I, in that sense, jumped to conclusions. I jumped to conclusions. And so when I jumped to conclusions, I remember hearing the Lord said, you missed it. You missed it, Tanika. You got to start over. And I was like, wait, no, let me fix it. It was like, no, you missed it, right? You missed it. And the year that he was supposed to come home, which would have been a year early, that season was altered. That season was altered for another year and a half. And so sometimes we can alter our seasons just because we are not in the right mind space, just because we are not in the place emotionally, because we're not hearing from God like we need to be hearing from God. And that's why the things I always tell wives to stay close to the cross, stay close to what God is saying, because even if you feel like I'm missing something, like God, like tap me on my shoulder, remind me, order my steps so I don't miss you, right? And so how to avoid setbacks? How do you avoid setbacks? Number one, you avoid setbacks by minding your own business. Minding your own business. Now, this one right here is a little bit personal to Coach T in this season, because I think I've shared with y'all before, no one can push Coach T out of character like her husband and her children, right? Or somebody, coming for her husband and her children. Those times and those moments can literally push me out of character. Especially when you have been good to certain ones, or you have been good to individuals, and then to see them mistreat your children, or to see them mistreat your husband, or for your children or your husband to mistreat you in some type of way. Those things can really get up underneath my skin. And one of the things I had to be reminded of just recently is you have to make sure that you are walking with God. You have to make sure that you are still being a representative of God. You have to make sure that you are still doing what thus said the Lord, in spite of these things, because one of the things the enemy is trying to do is get on your skin and bring you out of character, because he knows your time is close. your time is near. And so how you avoid your setbacks, mind your business. Mind your business, right? Which brings me to the second thing. Stay in your own lane. Do not get involved in anything that God has not ordered you to, or God has not ordained you to, or God has not told you to, right? Don't get involved in unnecessary things. If God didn't tell you to do something, then don't do it. If God didn't tell you to go that route, then don't go that route. If God didn't say do this and this and this, then don't do it. Don't put yourself or get in a lane that God never orchestrated for you to be in. Like, stay in your own lane, right? And then number three, I actually have 4. Number 3, stay connected to the cross. Stay connected to the cross by praying for yourself. One of the things I always encourage my wife clients is, on this journey, when God is asking you to stay in a marriage that does not benefit you, that you are basically just there as a representative and a representative only. You're not really getting anything from out of this marriage. You're not getting, no type of benefits from this marriage. Nothing about this marriage seems normal. It's very, very unorthodox. Or orthodox. Is very, very in that place. And it's just like, why am I here? I could just be by myself if I got to deal with this, right? But you have to know if God has you in a place like that, get the lesson. There is a lesson in that. It's not that he's just trying to hurt your feelings. It's not that he's just trying to break you down. It's not that he's just trying to keep you in this low place. God is trying to teach you something there. Whether that be, not being so dependent on this person. Whether that be, not being a people pleaser. Whether that is him trying to help you to, develop, tough skin. Whether that is him teaching you how to learn how to come and isolate yourself and be with him. Whether that is, you being completely reliant on him. God is trying to teach you in that. So a lot of times wives feel like, well, God, why you have me in this marriage? I'm not getting anything out of this marriage. This man is doing whatever he want to do. He's living his life. What am I getting from this? And a lot of times, God is trying to teach that wife something. And that's why I always say wives who are on journeys like this, they should not be doing this alone. They should be walking with someone, so someone can help them and show them and guide them on what it is that they need to be doing. Because a lot of times wives can get so stuck and caught up in, oh my God, I'm in this marriage and nothing is happening, nothing is moving. We just here, we don't even speak to each other. We don't even act like a married couple. We're not sleeping together. We don't talk to each other. Like, what am I doing this for? And it's like, all that is bad. I'm not here to say that's not bad. All those things are bad. But what is it that God is trying to teach you? What's on the other side of that, right? What's on the other side of that? And a lot of wives mentally and emotionally cannot handle that kind of, weight. They cannot handle just being ignored. They cannot handle just, their husband not talking to them. They cannot handle their spouse, living his own life and going, like, mentally that can literally you have to have a strong mind. You have to have a strong will to be able to do something like that. Because a lot of people cannot handle it. That feels like abuse. And it is. It is if you look at it from that way. But one of the things I always try to encourage wives with is, what's on the other side of that, though? What is God trying to teach you that in that? Especially if he's asked you to stay. Because if God is asking you to stay, I always tell wives, if God is allowing something, he's allowing it for a reason. He's not allowing it for you to get beat down. He's not allowing for this person to mistreat you. He's not allowing it for you to just settle and just go along with it. No. Ask God when you are in those places and spaces, Lord, what is it you want me to learn out of this? What is it that you're trying to teach me? Because I know it is not your will for me to be sitting here being mistreated. I know it's not your will for me to sit here and be overlooked. I know it's not your will for me to just be going along with his shenanigans and he doing all these things. I know that's not why you have me here. What is it that you're trying to teach me? And it's in those moments and times when God will begin to unfold some things to that wife. And he's like, okay, now she's ready to get the lesson in this. Now she's ready for what's next. And a lot of times what's next is development, growth. He's strengthening her. He's growing her up in faith. He's teaching her lessons about herself. He's showing stuff to her. A lot of times, and I know I'm kind of jumping all over, but I'm kind of going here. A lot of times when wives are in these kind of places, you start to learn things about yourself. God will start to point things out to you, what you can and cannot handle and what you will and will not do. A lot of times it really is God teaching you, wife, what it is that you stand for, what it is that you're going to deal with, what it is that you're not going to deal with. God is always teaching something, but wives sometimes are so entangled with the emotional part of their journey, and they looking at what marriage supposed to look like, to the outside world. Marriage supposed to look this way, and we're not doing that. And I tell wives all the time, you cannot. When God has asked you to do something like this, you are not in a normal marriage. You're not doing marriage as usual. You're not doing marriage like everybody else. You're doing marriage a whole completely different way. And a lot of times that way is for the kingdom. And when you're doing marriage for the kingdom, it looks different. You show up different on this side, right? And so get the lesson of whatever it is that God is trying to say you. So I tell wives all the time, stay connected to the cross. Pray more for yourself. Pray more for yourself than you are for your spouse. Yes, pray for your spouse, but pray for yourself, because you need to know, God, what is it you want me to do and how you order my steps. And then the fourth thing, prioritize your self-care. I told y'all in the beginning of this video, I'm making me some ice cream, okay? I already know ahead of time my husband has to work. My oldest son, he just had his, brand new baby. My youngest son, he had to, go to work. And so I already know I'm going to have that time to myself. And baby, Coach T be looking forward to it. Don't tell nobody that, though. Don't tell them that. But baby, I'll be looking forward to it, right? But even in those moments, it's almost like, I don't have family here. It's like, sometimes I even feel guilty. Like, man, you think I should? I probably should have drove down, But I'll be on the FaceTime all morning with my mom and my sister. Like, I've had my time with my family, and they know me. I don't have but I don't got that much in me. But you have to know what's worked for you, right? You have to know what worked for you, and you have to know how to prioritize yourself what does that look like for you? Does it look like resting, sleeping, eating your favorite foods, cooking, shopping, going out, being around some people have to be around other people. Me, when I'm around a whole lot of people for too long, it drains me. It takes a lot out of me. And then I have to go and get replenished and build myself back up. So I don't like to be around a whole lot of people too long anyways, because it takes so much out of me. It's like they just suck everything out of me, like suck the life out of me. Like they see me coming, like, oh, here she comes. Let me give her all my problems. Like, damn, calm down, calm down. So a lot of times I utilize this time as my time to just recuperate and to get myself back and to bounce back and to replenish and to not put makeup on or not, dress up or, I had my scarf on my head. I took it off because I was coming on this video. But I do that sometimes to get myself back in a good place. So you have to make sure that you're prioritizing yourself. Wife, What have you done to avoid setbacks? What have you done to avoid setbacks? Because let me tell you something. It is part of the journey. God has already made provision for your setbacks, right? But what you have to be mindful of, is not allowing those setbacks to alter your season. Even the holiday time. Like I said, the holiday time can be very, very, very challenging for wives who have been used to doing things together with family. I had one wife who shared with me, her husband and stuff was there. She had family, come over, and next thing you know, cause he's sleeping in a separate room. Next thing you know, she went to go and, check on him or whatever. And the door was locked. So she was trying to open the door. She was, calling his name or whatever. And he didn't open the door. And she finally got the door open just to go in and find out that man hadn't left. So she said she looked on the floor and she knows that his suitcase was gone, his hats was gone. So she knew then that, he had left, but he didn't tell her anything. He didn't say bye. He didn't say I'll see you later. He didn't say any of those things. He just, he just picked up and left. And so it's like, what do you do in a situation like that? Like how do you continue to just keep showing up when you're dealing with somebody like that, right? When you got family there, you thinking he's there, then all of a sudden you go over there to find out that he's not there, that he's left, and he didn't even tell you. He didn't call you. He didn't text. He didn't say, hey, I'm going here. I'm leaving. You don't know if he had an attitude. You don't know if he was upset because family was around. You don't know what the reason is or what the reason was. He just bailed out and left. And now she's there like, well, what I do? And she don't have young kids at home. So now she's there like, well, did I do something wrong? Or, she don't want to call him because that can be flesh. That can be flesh. But you in a position like that. And then sometimes it's like, that can set you back, right? That can set you back. When you are in places and positions like that, wife, you have to know how to bounce back. You have to know how to continue to get back up, repent quickly, listen to God quickly, and give things back over to him quickly. The enemy has not changed his mind about what he's trying to do to you. He don't care nothing about it being no holiday season. he don't care nothing about what time of the year it is, what kind of day we having. He don't care nothing about that. All right. He is still out here looking for a foothold to get in. He's out here still praying around and trying to get in and trying to find an entry to destroy you and to bring you down. But you, wife, have to be stronger than that in this season. You have to ask, Lord, I looked at my eyes into the hills from which cometh my help. All of my help comes from the Lord. Lord, you are my light and my salvation. Lord, even however which way the enemy try to hit me on every side, persecute me, I'm perplexed, I'm in despair, but I am not broken, God, because you hold me together. You are holding me together on this journey. Don't allow your setbacks to alter your season. Setbacks have already been part of the provision that God has made for you. He already knew how many times you was going to mess up. He already knew how many times you was going to give in. He already knew your shortcomings. He already knew the days you was going to get mad. He already had them put that in. That's already part of the plan. But what the enemy is trying to do is for you to alter those seasons, And sometimes that can put you back a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years. You don't want that. We are in a place at time in a season when we're trying to look forward. We're trying to continue to move. And I want to encourage you to do just that, right? I want to encourage you to do just that. If you are still in a place in a season where you're saying, I need somebody to help me on this journey. I need coaching. I need to be able to know how to do this. I don't know how to maintain this and still be in my right sane, in my right mind. A lot of wives don't know how to continue to move forward when their husbands are acting like buttheads. And it's hard. Ain't nothing easy about that. You can tell a person this all day long. You love who you love, right? You marry who you marry, and it does not dismiss that, right? It's not like, okay, I love him, but I have to feel this kind of way. No, you have to still feel what you feel, but knowing that God got your back and God didn't just bring you to this place for nothing. Whatever it is that he's trying to teach you, allow him to teach you in this season and allow him to do that. All right. So I want to encourage you, if you have not already signed up for your wife consultation, you can do so at www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. I still have some availability in the month of December. So you can sign up for that. For my wives who are supposed to be checking in and you have not checked in yet, I want to encourage you to go ahead and check in and get on my schedule before this year is out. Listen, we are 30 days away. We are 30 days away from the top of the year. And God is like, I'm ready to do something new and different in your life. Get on board. Get on schedule. This is the time. This is the season for you to prioritize your mental and emotional health. All right. Sign up today for your wife consultation, www.marriagechroniclesbytanika.com. Listen, y'all enjoy the rest of your self-care Saturday. I hope this message has been an encouragement to you. I hope that you have received something from it. Take it, use it, share it, give it to somebody else. I'll talk to y'all soon, all right? Love you. Blessings.